Hello everyone, so this is the summary of the poem Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. This poem was published in 1867 in the collection New Poems. This is a lyric poem. The poem is about the loss of faith in Christianity because of lots of advancements made in science. The poem is about the feelings of isolation and meaninglessness as it was proved in science that human beings are not God's special creation. Come to the text of the poem. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast. Out in the tranquil bay, come to the window, sweet is the night air, only from the long line of spray where the sea meets the moon blanched land. So, when the poem opens, the speaker is watching the calm and peaceful sea from his window, and he is in this room with his beloved. Okay, and he finds that the tide is full. What does it mean? That the waves are high on the sea, and he also notices the moonlight, getting reflected on the water of the ocean. And we get to know that the speaker is on Dover Beach, which is there in England, and he's also observing the French coast and the fading light. Okay, fading light means here fading light symbolizes the losing faith in religion, fading faith in Christianity. And he is watching across the English Channel towards the French side of the water. He notices the tall and bright cliffs of English coast and also the bay, which is calm and peaceful. And then you see that the speaker is addressing someone in his room who is his beloved. Okay, so he is addressing his beloved to come and look through the window and enjoy the sweet and soothing air during the night. And the speaker is here with his beloved in this room, and he asks her to observe the point where sea meets moonlit land. Come to the next lines. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin with tremulous cadence slow and bring that in a note of sadness in. So here in these lines, the speaker, asks his beloved to observe the sound of the pebbles carried back and forth by the waves of the sea, and he feels sad and disappointed to see this repetitive action of the waves on the shore. Okay, when the waves keep on coming and going back, so he feels sad to notice this. Come to the next lines. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound of thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. So now the speaker compares his sadness with that of Sophocles, who was an ancient Greek playwright. And Sophocles heard the same sadness in the Aegean Sea. Sophocles felt sad because the sound of the waves reminded him of the pain and the sorrow of humanity. Okay, come to the next lines. The sea of faith was once too at the full, and round earth's shore lay like the folds of a bright girdle fold. But now I only hear its melancholy long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. So then speaker turns his attention to another thought which is coming to his mind while observing the waves of the sea. In these lines, speaker says that the sea of faith, which was in a state of fullness, has now become smaller. Basically, he is making reference to the faith in Christianity, and which is in doubt because of lots of advancements made in science. Okay, and the poet says that this faith is replaced by the new scientific discoveries, and people are now in a state of doubt. Okay, earlier this sea of faith had covered the earth completely. Okay, but now the speaker is hearing the defeat of the sea of faith, and it is now returning back and has become smaller. So the impact of Christianity, which was so powerful, now people are losing faith in that because of lots of advancements made in science. Okay, and then poet says that when the sea of faith moves back, then it leaves the shores to be naked and exposed. Naked shingles of the world means naked and exposed shores. Come to the next lines. Oh love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so varied, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy nor love nor light, no certitude nor peace nor help or pain. And we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. So in these lines, speaker is again addressing his beloved and says to her that they will remain honest and truthful to one another, because he thinks that this world is dreamlike. Okay, and this world is full of variety and it's beautiful and it's new, but it doesn't offer any joy, love, and clarity to them. Again, speakers say that this world doesn't provide any certainty, peace, or any relief from pain. And then in the next line, speaker says that he feels as if he's standing confused on a dark land where there is a lot of struggle and fight. So these lines are an allusion to Peloponnesian War by Thucydides, which describes that Athenian army fought on a beach at night during the invasion of Sicily. As there was darkness all around, soldiers got confused and they started killing one another. So, speaker means to say that this world has also become chaotic because there is a lot of struggle and violence all around. Okay, and he witnesses a lot of pain, anguish, and conflict all around him. Okay, so as I've told you that this poem is about the loss of religious faith because of new inventions in science, and this is a pessimistic poem, and here the poem ends.